for as long as possible or move new units. Because some of those new units will be longer will last longer than 3 months. They'll hang on, and maybe not even on purpose. They'll just they'll forget and just leave it going, leave their subscription active, so they get to rake in the money of this person forgetting to cancel. And then they also sold the base unit. And so that's the corporate greed aspect, where it's rather than foster a healthy base of a healthy fan base of people constantly giving every month to a good game they love, they just decided to move more units. And that's really what it comes down to. And that was a decision made to kind of amend the problem of the, trickling, the loss of gamers. And, people say, well, that doesn't make sense that they saw WoW as a dying brand, because WoW is, Activision took over around, I think it was during Wrath of the Lich King. That's when the companies merged. And they say, well, that was the most popular it's ever been. Wrath was, that was the golden age. Wrath was the best expansion. But that's also when WoW was starting to get up there in years. It's expansion number 3. I think that was like the 6 or 7 year mark by the end of Wrath. And that's probably when it started to settle in that if we don't already have them, if WoW at its best didn't get new gamers to come in, in big enough numbers at least, and maybe towards the end of Wrath, they start to see the sub numbers dropping. If that didn't do it, it wasn't getting any better. Because Wrath had the big names. Arthas was kind of the driver behind Wrath because, Warcraft 3, all that was, that's what really kind of, a lot of people played for that. And then, you got Kung Fu Panda expansion and then fucking Angry Dragon expansion. And that's kind of where the downturn was, because they ran out of story, so they had to start writing their own story. And they did kind of a shit job at it, but, whatever. I mean, Kung Fu Panda expansion, that's no forgiveness. Mop was dumb. It should have never happened. They could have filled it with so much better shit. The current Battle for Azeroth expansion should have been Mop, and maybe things would have gone differently. Because it's still, islands and shit, and it would have been a lot better without Kung Fu Panda expansion. I think at the end of Wrath, they kind of realized that it's not getting any better. And that's why they did the great pruning in Cataclysm. And I think what happened there was they pruned down the classes, but they didn't necessarily make the game any simpler or easier. Remember, Cata Dungeons were a fucking bastard. And a lot of people got frustrated because now everybody had less tools to do the job. The classes had gotten so much simpler, but the game had gotten, it stayed the same difficulty. So you found yourself gimped in, weak because you were lacking these abilities you used to have, and they used to be good, but the game is still challenging. Challenging enough because it was still a game. It hadn't yet become an activity. So that's, I think, really what had happened was they made a corporate decision that new players were better than old players, and we had to the only way we're going to get new players is by getting non-players, ostensibly. They made a WoW your mom would love, right? That's really what happened, was that they made WoW appealing to your mom and your grandma and your, Jeff, the jock, who doesn't really play games like that, but that's kind of cool, right? You can fly a dragon. Yeah, that's pretty cool, bro. They made WoW for those people now. Was it the right decision? No. I think we're seeing that as, it's the content, Battle for Azeroth, considering how fucking old the game engine is, I mean, Battle for Azeroth looks great. I look at some of the spell effects they put in, and the art style. It's fucking awesome. They did such a good job. Sound effects, the voice acting in Legion. Everybody kind of shit on that. We don't want voice actors. We want more gameplay. And I'm like, I want both. Why can't we have a fully voice narrated cast and these nice cinematics, both in game and out game cinematics, and a good game. And I guess the short answer is because that costs money, and more units makes more money, rather than subscriptions that just kind of peter on. And I guess this is the decision Blizzard really should have made was: do we bring in new units, make the game simpler, or do we appeal to the fan base of people already here and ask them for more money? I think that is what they should have done. If they would have bumped it from $15 a month, or however much, I think it's like 15 on the month-to-month thing, and taken it to 20, a 25% increase in profit, but the game was fucking awesome. Every expansion after Wrath was just as good as Wrath. I don't think they would have had any pushback from that. I think if they kept making it better, you could have gone up to 25. Shit, you could probably take it up to 30. If the game is fucking nice,